Mental health to me means having the confidence to trust yourself and follow through with whatever decision you make, as well as just trusting yourself in general for whatever you might think.
Again, I think this is very individual and person by person basis, but for myself, I'd see it as sort of overall well-being. Overall well-being. So generally, somebody's self-worth and happiness in their sort of day-to-day life. So obviously, emotions and feelings are going to change depending on situations or times of stress, etc. But I'd see sort of the general definition of mental health being that sort of constant state. So obviously, if this is negative or upset or obviously not in that optimum happiness and self-worth, this is where there's going to be a problem.
First and foremost, I've dealt with mental health issues or related issues in a number of ways. Some very close family members have and are suffering from illnesses like anxiety and depression. Mental health can come in many forms, which is why it is hard to diagnose. But my strongest belief towards mental health is related to Winston Churchill. He talked about his severe depression and he called it the black dog. Now, from my perspective, I believe everyone will get a visit from this theoretical black dog at least once in their lives. But obviously people will deal with that in different ways.
I think it's just as important as physical health. It can affect your social life, your work life, and also your physical well-being. It's also important to me to keep mentally healthy, as it can affect my work at uni and friends and family.
To me, mental health means looking after your emotional, psychological and social well-being. Mental health is something I've had struggles with since a very, very early age.
So to me, mental health is all around your emotional and your physiological sort of needs within our sort of mental health. And I think for me, mental health has so many different types and varieties. And I think what I've seen is that as we sort of transition through different phases within our lives, our mental health and things that affect us obviously change as we sort of go along that journey, whether that's going through university, into a new relationship, and then maybe even starting a family. I think that what I've seen sort of throughout my career and throughout my sort of life, if you like, is that as I sort of develop, then my mental health and the way that I have to adapt and adjust to things is also sort of adapted as well.
Mental health means a lot to me. I've known people lose their personal battles with mental health. I myself was one jump away from losing my personal battle. It has affected me for the last decade of my life, so it definitely means a lot to me. I don't like it when people try and excuse it through some physical injury, in terms of they try and treat mental health as something you either have or you don't have. Everyone's life is relative to their own perception. You can't just treat it as an absolute thing. It's not. It's pretty fluid. So therefore, it's what everyone makes of it. Everyone's impacted by things differently. Just because one person can handle one scenario doesn't mean that another person can handle that scenario the exact same way. It's all relative. Also, when discussing mental health with others, I hate it when people who start talking about their mental health may start off by saying, well, my situation isn't as bad as yours, but really, who's to say your situation isn't worse than mine? Who's got the capacity that can say that with confidence? I haven't walked down your road, you've not walked down mine. I probably couldn't handle some of the stuff you went through, you probably couldn't handle some of the stuff I went through. You might handle stuff better, I might handle stuff better, but that's all irrelevant because this is